The moment the teaser hit the timeline, it was like the internet snapped awake. Not gently, not casually. No, it was the kind of surge that only ever happens when Meghan, the woman who has effortlessly become a modern cultural force, breathes in the direction of a camera. And just like that, within 60 seconds, literally 60 seconds, every single piece she wore vanished from the shelves. Gone. Not low stock, not selling fast, not limited availability. Completely wiped out. You could almost hear the sound of global keyboards clicking at the same time. Everyone rushing to get the Gabriella Hearst Selzy sweater and the Rhine pants after seeing Meghan moving through that holiday celebration teaser with the kind of grace, warmth and glow that her critics envy but can never replicate. What makes it sweeter is how predictable this has become. Meghan's effect is not a coincidence, not an accident, not marketing trickery, it's influence. Real, authentic, earned influence that comes from people loving who she is. Every time her image appears, the same pattern repeats. Stores crash, items sell out, brands quietly pray she wears them again because they know what's coming. And this time, it wasn't even a full-minute clip. Just a glimpse of her stirring a bowl, smiling, in that chocolate multi-knit set, and boom! 60 seconds later, the internet had eaten everything. Haters can pretend they don't care, but their silence in moments like this is always deafening, because deep down, they know Meghan's reach is something they could only wish for. What fascinates me is how smooth she is in that clip. She isn't trying, she isn't posturing or forcing a persona, she's just Meghan. Warm, present, joyful, the kind of person who makes the simplest scenes look like comfort films. And her supporters pick up on that energy instantly. That's why the sweater went first, disappearing faster than the British tabloids could write their next salty headline. Then the pants followed, gone in a flash. Both pieces unavailable before most people even finished watching the teaser. You don't get that kind of reaction from being controversial. You get it because people genuinely adore you. And the best part? This always exposes the truth about the so-called public opinion that the British media likes to promote. If Meghan was truly as disliked as they claim, if their narrative held any weight, then her clothes would stay on shelves collecting dust. Nobody would rush to dress like a woman the tabloids spent years attacking. But the real world proved them wrong again. The demand for Meghan is so huge that even an outfit she wore while casually whipping batter became a global stampede. That's the power of authentic loyalty. That's the Meghan effect the haters pretend they don't see but can never escape. Every time she steps into the spotlight, even for just a second, people want to feel the warmth she radiates. They want to borrow a little of that glow. Meghan isn't selling products. She's selling joy, comfort, stability, relatability, things she built on her own despite all the noise around her. When people saw her in that chocolate knit set, something just clicked. The softness, the cozy texture, the holiday vibe, the way she looked relaxed yet, effortlessly chic. It reminded people of home, of family, of warmth, of happiness that isn't rehearsed. And fashion, real fashion, responds to that. Imagine the kind of force you have to be for a vest and trousers to conquer the internet in seconds. Not minutes, seconds, 60 seconds. This is why the tabloid crowd stays pressed. They can't replicate this kind of organic magnetism. Meghan walks into a room like sunlight, and they show up like moths complaining that it's just too bright. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is basking in the glow, refreshing the page, trying to grab the last piece before it's gone. And Gabriella Hearst becoming a trending topic all over again? That's the Meghan effect. A designer quietly doing her thing suddenly becomes a global obsession because Meghan chose to wear her pieces in a festive teaser. Think about how wild it is that a 2-hour promotional campaign couldn't achieve what Meghan accomplished in 60 seconds. It's the kind of impact you can't buy, you can't fake, you can't manipulate. It's real, and it's honestly the reason brands line up for even the slightest chance to be associated with her. But it also says something deeper. People want what she represents. A woman who stood tall through storms, who didn't crumble under pressure, who built a life on her own terms. A woman living peacefully in Montecito with her husband and children, thriving in a way her critics swore would never happen. And here she is, enjoying her kitchen, making holiday treats, and simultaneously boosting a designer's market in under a minute. That is power. Not royal power, not media-manufactured power, real, cultural, celebrity, human power. Even more delicious is the fact that every time Meghan sells something out, it contradicts years of smear campaigns in the loudest way possible. A person disliked does not trigger an international shopping frenzy by stirring icing in a kitchen. A person who is irrelevant, as the bitter commentators like to say, doesn't cause products to evaporate online at speeds usually reserved for celebrity sneaker drops. In fact, Meghan's influence is so strong that even the grey version of the sweater, an alternative no one saw her wearing, started flying off the shelves too. People want anything that even hints at her energy. And honestly, can you blame them? Look at the pictures. She looks happy. She looks free. She looks settled. She looks like someone who's found her space, her voice, her peace. Montecito hasn't just been good for her, it has transformed her. And you can see it in every frame of that teaser. Her supporters see it too, and they're drawn to that light. That's why they want her clothes, her candles, her cookbooks, her jam. Anything that carries a little piece of that comforting warmth she radiates. What always cracks me up is how her haters scramble after these sellouts. They pretend not to notice, then, they pretend not to care, and eventually they whisper, "Why did it sell out?" as if they haven't been watching this pattern for 6 years. Meghan's presence shifts markets. She makes brands, she revives trends, she brings life to everything she touches. It's what many in the royal family desperately tried to imitate, but just couldn't. Influence cannot be inherited. Influence must be earned. And Meghan earned hers through authenticity. The funniest part is honestly the timing. This happened before the full holiday special even dropped. If a teaser alone caused a 60-second wipeout, just imagine what will happen the moment fans see the full episode. More sellouts, more brand surges, more designers quietly celebrating, more global interest, and once again the same cycle. Meghan lifts economies while her critics lift microphones and complaints. This is exactly why people defend her with such passion, because she is constantly proving, without a single word, that she's thriving, she's winning, she's rising, she's influencing, she's living a life of peace and joy while her name remains a cultural lightning rod. And honestly, the more they try to tear her down, the brighter she shines. So let the record show. On this day, in 60 seconds, Meghan Markle once again showed the world what true influence looks like. Effortless, powerful, elegant, and really, just unstoppable. And if this is the reaction to a vest and trousers, just wait until her next project drops. The Meghan effect isn't slowing down, it's actually accelerating, and the world is watching, clicking, buying, and celebrating every moment of it.